Okay, let's talk about that one tiny port you see on pretty much everything now. Your laptop, your phone, you name it. Yep, I'm talking about USB-C. It's become the default for charging and connecting our digital lives. But what's really fascinating is that behind that simple, clean shape, there's a world of power and speed that's evolving so fast it's about to completely change the game. So think about it. You plug something into this port every single day. But do you really know what it's capable of? I'm willing to bet it's a whole lot more than you think, because the technology packed inside that little connector is getting one of the biggest upgrades we've ever seen.
You know, to really appreciate where we're going, we have to remember where we came from. Not that long ago, the back of a PC was a complete mess. A spaghetti monster of different plugs for your mouse, your keyboard, your printer. It was chaos. USB, the Universal Serial Bus, was born in the 90s to clean up that mess. And with USB-C, we've finally hit the holy grail. One small, reversible connector that can do it all.
Okay, now this is probably the most important thing to get your head around. The physical shape, that's the USB-C connector, is totally different from the technology inside, which we call the standard. Think of it like this. The connector is just the shape of the road, but the standard is the speed limit. You can have two roads that look exactly the same, but one's a quiet country lane and the other is an 80 gigabit per second superhighway. This is why not all USB-C ports are created equal, not even close. Really, the whole story of USB has been one big quest for more and more speed. I mean, our files keep getting bigger, our displays have more pixels, and our demands just keep growing. So the technology had to evolve, right? It went from just a simple way to plug in a keyboard to a full-blown high-performance data pipeline.
And what a journey it's been. I mean, look at this. From its humble beginnings in '96, we got a nice bump to 480 megabits with USB 2.0. But then, boom, USB 3.0 leaped to 5 gigabits. Then we jumped again, all the way to 40 gigabits with USB 4. And just when you thought that was fast, in 2022, the standard doubled its speed, again. This isn't just about downloading a movie faster. This is the kind of speed that enables entirely new ways of working, like editing 8K video in real time straight off an external drive. But here's the secret sauce, the thing that makes all this modern speed possible. It's not enough to just plug the cable in. For these new standards to hit their max speeds, the devices have to do a little digital handshake. It's called USB Power Delivery, or PD. You can think of it like a secret knock. If that handshake doesn't happen, the super fast data lanes, they just don't open up. It's literally the key that unlocks all that performance.
All right, let's get to the main event. We are officially entering the 80 gigabit per second era. This is being led by two powerhouse standards that both use that familiar USB-C connector, USB4 version 2.0 and Intel's new Thunderbolt 5. And this, my friends, is where things get really, really exciting for anyone who needs serious performance. Just take a second and let that number sink in. 80 gigabits per second. That's the new baseline speed sending and receiving data at the same time. That is double the last generation. It's fast enough to move a full-length 4K movie in just a handful of seconds. This is not some small incremental update. This is a revolutionary leap forward. So what does this leap actually give us? Well, comparing Thunderbolt 4 to the new Thunderbolt 5, you can see the minimum bandwidth doubles to 80 gigabits per second. The power it can deliver jumps to an insane 240 watts. That's enough to charge even the beefiest gaming laptops. But maybe the biggest deal here is the PCIe data bandwidth. It doubles to 64 gigabits per second. Now, PCIe is basically the direct superhighway to your computer's processor. Doubling it means an external graphics card can talk to your computer so fast, it's like it's plugged directly into the motherboard. The bottleneck is essentially gone. But wait, it gets crazier. 80 gigabits per second? That's just the baseline. This new spec has a wild trick up its sleeve. When it needs to, it can push data in one direction at an absolutely mind-blowing 120 gigabits per second. So how on earth is that possible? It's a new feature called asymmetric bandwidth. Imagine your data connection is a 4-lane highway with 2 lanes going each way. Now, let's say you're doing something that's mostly one-way traffic, like sending video out to a couple of super high-res displays. The system can actually reconfigure that highway on the fly. It can turn 3 of those lanes into outbound lanes, giving you 120 gigabits of video output, while still keeping 1 lane open for 40 gigabits of data coming back. It's just a brilliant way to give you maximum power right where you need it. Okay, so with all this insane power on the table, we get to the big question: do you actually need it? Because the newest, fastest, and greatest isn't always the right choice for everybody. The answer really depends on what you do with your computer. Let's break this down. If you're an everyday user, browsing the web, streaming video, maybe hooking up a single 4K monitor, a 40 gigabits port like Thunderbolt 3 or USB4 is still more than enough. You really don't need to spend extra. Now, if you're a creative professional or a hardcore gamer, Thunderbolt 4 is the sweet spot right now. That guaranteed support for dual 4K displays and the solid data connection for an external GPU makes a real difference. So, who actually needs the bleeding-edge performance of Thunderbolt 5? Well, we're talking about the pros dealing with multiple 8K video streams, 3D animators, or gamers who want to connect next-gen GPUs to ultra-high refresh rate monitors. It's for the true power users. So, when can we all expect to have this kind of power? Well, moving an entire industry to a new standard like this is a huge deal. It's a massive process that involves everyone from the people who design the chips to the companies building our laptops. And the reason they do it? The money involved is staggering. The market for USB devices was already over $35 billion in 2023, and it's projected to shoot up to nearly $60 billion by 2030. That kind of explosive growth is the economic engine that drives all this innovation and the constant push for more speed. But that engine needs time to warm up. So while the very first devices with this tech are expected in 2024, it's really important to have realistic expectations. As this Intel engineer points out, we probably won't see these ports on most mainstream PCs until after 2027. It's going to be a slow and steady rollout.
And you might be wondering, well, why does it take so long? The thing is, for manufacturers, putting these new standards into a device is a serious challenge. The chips are more complex, which raises the bill of materials, the BOM, or what it costs to build the thing. The circuit boards, the PCBs, have to be designed way more carefully to handle these crazy high speeds without causing problems. What everyone's really waiting for are single-chip solutions that bake everything in, including that crucial power delivery controller to make it simpler and cheaper to build.
So here we are. We're building these incredible digital highways that are faster and more capable than anything we've ever seen, packing data, video, and a ton of power into one simple, elegant port. The connection between our devices, it's just not the weak link anymore. So as we look forward, the real question isn't about the port. It's what comes next. What's going to be the new bottleneck in our constant search for perfect, seamless, instant computing?